Also tonight, Governor of the Central Bank, John Rowell, says the delinquency rate on loans now stands at 8% in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. He says there is a focus on encouraging forbearance on delayed loan repayments, adding that commercial banks are expected to classify loans of borrowers that they may become permanently unemployed as non-performing and make provisions for them. Rowell says since the initial 3 to 6 months of blanket deferrals, banks are required to have clients that are receiving an income resume payments.
Approximately 15.8% of private sector credit remain in deferred repayment status as of September, compared to about 37% at the onset of the economy's closure. Also, the non-performing rate for private sector loans, which could still rise more significantly in the year ahead, has only shifted slightly higher since April. That said, the central bank stress testing still gives us confidence that commercial banks have adequate excess capitals to absorb any extreme losses that the sector might experience.
Rowell says the current climate has also not been good for private sector credit flows driven by commercial banks. He says there has been a decline since the first 3 quarters of this year while deposits have increased. Rowell says demand for credit from new loan applicants fell nearly 60% compared to the first 6 months of the year, while success in obtaining credit fell slightly.
Being turned down for credit continued to be influenced by the weak financial state of loan applicants, most commonly being assessed as having insufficient capacity in earnings or job security to afford the loan. Returning to the economic outlook, the pace and timing of recovery will depend largely on how effectively domestic interventions manage the spread of COVID-19 inside the Bahamas and the speed of global efforts to contain infections and make a vaccine widely available. As such, domestic economic policies must remain equally focused on preserving monetary and financial stability while assigning the appropriate role to fiscal interventions to support essential domestic demand.